All right, let's talk about something big. We're jumping right into the crazy high stakes world of commercial property here in Los Angeles, where millions of dollars can hang on a single number. So, we're going to break down the playbook for getting an appraisal that actually holds up when it really, really counts. So, here's the big question. What's your commercial property really worth? I mean, it sounds simple, right? Well, in a market like LA, it's anything but. And look, for anyone involved, owners, lawyers, investors, you name it, getting this wrong isn't just a small oops. We're talking about a potential multi-million dollar disaster. Seriously. And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. This is not about getting a quick back-of-the-napkin number. No way. When you've got banks, courts, or, yeah, the IRS looking over your shoulder, a simple opinion of value, it's just not going to fly. A number you can't back up is a huge, huge financial gamble. Okay, so how do you avoid that gamble? How do you protect yourself? Well, it all comes down to one word: certified. You really have to understand what that word means, because it's the difference between a guess and a rock-solid professional valuation. Here's a great way to think about it. If you had a serious health issue, would you ask your buddy for advice? Or would you go see a board-certified specialist? Of course you'd see the specialist. It's the exact same logic here. A huge property decision needs a professional, certified diagnosis of its value, not just some casual opinion. It's all about that professional authority. So, what's that authority built on? Well, it starts with something called USPAP. You can think of it as the official rule book for every appraiser in the country. It lays out all the rules for ethics and for quality, making sure every appraisal is done the right way. It's really the foundation of trust in this whole process. And then, on top of that national standard, California has its own specific requirement. It's called the Certified General Appraiser License. And here's the key part. If you're appraising any commercial property in California, you have to have this license. It's not a suggestion, it's not a nice to have, it is the law. Okay, but what if the stakes are even higher? Well, then you get to the absolute top tier, the MAI designation. For the really tough stuff, we're talking major lawsuits, big-time institutional loans. This is the gold standard. And getting this designation is no joke. It means years of experience, having your work torn apart and reviewed by your peers, and passing a beast of an exam. It basically screams, this person is a top-level expert. All right, so now we know what qualifications to look for. That's great. But where do you actually find these folks? I mean, Los Angeles is a huge place, right? Well, people who do this for a living, owners and attorneys, usually go down a few common paths. You can hit the official directories, like from the state or the Appraisal Institute, or you can find smaller, specialized firms that only do commercial work. And then there are the bigger regional players that cover all of SoCal. To make this feel a bit more real, let's actually look at an example of what one of these local specialist firms looks like. This gives you an idea of a dedicated, commercial-focused group right in the heart of downtown LA. So you can see the key info here: their name, contact details, but look at the specialization. It says USPAP certified and IRS compliant. See how that connects right back to what we were just talking about? That's the language you want to see. Okay, so finding a few names is step one, but picking the right one, that's the real challenge. So how do you do your homework? How do you vet them properly? Honestly, it boils down to a pretty simple two-step check. First things first, confirm they have that California Certified General License. And this is important, that they've actually worked with your kind of property before. An office building is a totally different beast than an industrial warehouse, right? And second, you just have to ask them straight up, is your report going to be USPAP compliant? And if you need that top-tier expertise, do you have an MAI on staff? So we've gone through the what to look for and the how to find them, but let's bring it all home and focus on the biggest question of all: why? Why does any of this stuff actually matter? Why is it so incredibly important to get a certified appraiser? Because it matters in the real world in these high-stakes moments. Trying to get a loan from a bank? A certified appraisal is non-negotiable, period. Dealing with estate taxes or gift taxes? You absolutely need one. Trying to sort out a messy partnership breakup or a divorce? It's essential, even if you're just fighting your property tax bill. In every single one of these cases, a rock-solid, defensible report isn't just a document, it's your shield. Look, at the end of the day, it's this simple. An opinion of value is basically a guess. It's a rough idea, and it has zero legal weight. A certified appraisal, on the other hand, is a fully documented, independent valuation that's literally built to be picked apart by banks, judges, and the IRS. and to survive that scrutiny. That is the whole ballgame right there. And that really leaves us with just one last thing to think about. In this world, it's really not a question of if your property's value is going to be challenged, it's a question of when. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, when that day comes, is your valuation ready for the fight? Thanks for tuning in.